We got a great guest in studio right now talking about the Pacific Northwest Salmon Center at PNWSalmonCenter.org. Clayton David, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm doing fine, Jeff. Good morning, Vicki.
Good to see you again. And we got a lot to talk about here as we start to wind down one volunteer project, and another project is coming up quick. And what's been going on up at the Salmon Center?
Well, let's see here. We just wrapped up the 12th season of the Hood Canal Steelhead project, where at the Salmon Center we monitor 3 of the streams within that project. It's a big cooperative effort. So we monitor the Dewada River, which is an experimental stream, and then 2 of the control streams, the Little Quilcena and the Tahuya River. So this year we are actually wrapping up our 12th year, like I just said, and we're entering the post-supplementation phase. So we're monitoring our efforts at this point. Many of your listeners might remember that we started out 12 years ago doing red excavations out of the experimental rivers, so the Dewada, the Duckabush, and the Skokomish rivers, and we would save those eggs in a hatchery for 2 years, growing those steelhead smolt to mimic natural wild populations of steelhead.
Yeah.
And then we would put those smolt right back in the same river where they were spawned to preserve the genetic integrity of that run. And so now we're finished up with all that supplementation. So there will be no more fish going back into the rivers, but we do need to continue to monitor for the 4th generation of steelhead from this project.
Isn't that something?
And we'll be able to tell whether or not we've had any genetic degradation within those wild populations. And so far, so good. We're looking pretty good. Red numbers have increased every year, and there has not been any genetic downfall within those populations so far. So it's a good project.
This is fascinating to me. I have never heard anything like this.
So my wife and I
come from the desert, so
This is a one of a kind of experiment.
I love fishing, but this is
cool.
I didn't know you had to do stuff like this.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Steelhead is Washington State's fish. Many people don't even know that.
I did not know
But
that.
they are also threatened on the endangered species list. Hood Canal steelhead and Puget Sound steelhead are all threatened, and so it's really up to us to kind of be stewards of our watersheds and try to help bring back these wild populations.
That's
and
great.
This is a one-of-a-kind experiment, and so it's a lot of eyes on it, a lot of people involved, and it is a lot of fun. I mean, that's why I do what I do, because I love doing it.
My wife and I had a heck of a good time going out and counting the fish that were in the traps on their way out. And last year we took part as well on the in-migration as they're coming back. And if I remember correctly, record numbers of fish coming
Last
in.
year, over 5,000. It would be the highest wild population return since we started monitoring the Union River, actually. So it is a pretty exciting time. And we did just finish up the Steelhead project, but we also started a new project on the Union this year. So for the past 17 years, as Jeff just mentioned, we've been monitoring all the incoming adult summer chum, which are also threatened on the endangered species list.
Okay.
And so we have all this adult data, but we don't have any of the juvenile data. So this year I was able to cobble together a program to actually monitor the out-migration of summer chum and fall chum out of the Union River. So we put a trap into the river in early January and ran it all the way through till June, collecting DNA and recapture rates on the summer chum within the Union River. We're going to continue to do this for as long as we can, so we can get that full picture of what's going on with summer chum recovery and the stability of the run within the Union River, which seems to be one of the more productive summer chum rivers in the canal for various reasons. So,
Interesting.
yeah.
This is a great experience for people of all ages
Absolutely.
and skill levels. It was not difficult to get to and in over through the water and up to the counter thing there where the fish get collected, and then to be able to get them with the nets and
I totally want to do that.
and look at them and go, yep, that's this, and yep, that's that. Make a note, make a mark, and then take some of the trout, right, that came in there, and they checked to see if they were clipped, so that means they had been caught before and looked at. So they did that. They put a RFID, is that what it is? Like a little...
We actually are pit tagging a program on the Dewada this year.
Yeah, we saw they did that for us, so we saw that. And we saw the whole thing,
How
and it was
fun.
so cool
That's fascinating
to know how this portion of the life cycle works.
I knew nothing about that.
Yeah,
so,
people
so
people love
incredible.
fishing for the adults because obviously we eat them, but
Right.
but not a lot of people get their hands on juveniles, and we try to provide a pretty good experience for our volunteers because we can't do these projects. I can't do it all by myself without all the volunteer help that we have, and so we provide waiters and expertise, and so that's everybody can get out there and start to learn, and it really is for all ages.
Yeah,
I bring my own kids out to the traps when I get a chance too. So.
Stephanie and I have no idea what we're doing, so we had two great. I mean, you could basically call them docents of the river there
right.
that were helping us kind of describe what they were and identify them properly. If you have the time to do this, it's really cool.
Absolutely.
You're going
Yes,
to tell
it
all
is.
your friends about it forever.
Oh,
And
yeah.
our interns did a fantastic job this year too. But not only do we provide the experience for volunteers, but I also try to get young budding scientists out and give them some field
wonderful.
experience and build up their resumes and let them figure out if this is something that's really for them. So
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
So
I
there
love that.
is opportunities for the summer chum trapping August 15th through October 15th. The link we'll put on the show notes here when we get to that, but there are plenty of opportunities, and these ones for the summer chum as they return, these are 24-hour deals.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of
Yeah.
opportunities for folks to sign up.
yeah,
for
so
these.
between August 15th and October 15th, we run that the adult trap, the big weir style trap, down there on the Union River Bridge. And there's 4 shifts during the day, one from 8 to noon to 5 to 10, and then there's an overnight shift that goes from 10 p.m. all the way to 8 a.m.
Oh, wow.
And it's monitored 24/7 by volunteers and interns and myself for those 2 months. So
Wow. That's incredible.
How many fish do you think come in? So Stephanie and I have signed up for the middle of September,
Yeah.
whatever. So for that month, I've heard stories of 100 fish within an hour filling up that trap that you then need to identify and get them back into the river heading on up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah, that can happen. And September 15th, I think you're signed up for,
Yeah.
is right around the peak every year. And so, obviously, every year the run is variable. We're coming off of these adults that are returning will be the 3-year-olds from the 2015 drought season. So we'll have to see if it's going to be a very productive year this year. I always have high expectations. And the last 3 years, we've gone up quite a few fish every year. And so we'll see if we top that 5,800 or so from
Jeez.
last year.
Wow,
That's
that's
amazing.
a
We'll
lot
see.
of fish.
Yeah,
That's
it'll
really
be really
cool.
interesting. But you should be right in the thick of it there in September.
Oh, that'll be fun. September 15th.
200
on that one.
fish,
Yeah,
no.
come on.
And it can happen 100 fish at a time. Sometimes
Wow.
you'll be getting them out, and they'll be coming in as you get them out. So it's a lot of fun.
The other thing I got you here for is a big day tomorrow, right? The
Yeah.
music on the Estuary
Yeah.
starts up, the summer music programs.
Yeah, so tomorrow evening at the Salmon Center in Belfair, we are hosting a number of bands, and tickets are $5. So you can purchase them online, or you can actually purchase them when you get to the Salmon Center as well. It should be a lot of fun. There's some vendor booths and other educational booths. If you bring your children out, we have a petting. All our animals are going to be out, so you can come check out our llamas and alpacas and chickens and ducks and roosters and
Wow.
and all those guys and goats. And so it should be a lot of fun this weekend. A lot of good music too.
Yeah, for sure. So tomorrow, Psychedelic Shadow Show and the Lootman Posse will be there. It is the 23rd, tomorrow, from 4:30 to 8. And if you've never been out to the Salmon Center just to explore, it's a beautiful piece of property, 600 Northeast Roselle Road, Belfair, just off Highway 3. There's good signage that gets you there and gets your journey off onto the estuary, and check it out. Very neat.
Yeah, absolutely. If you get there early, there's several miles of trails that you can walk around the Union River Estuary or make your way over to the Feller Wetlands and come on back. And just a beautiful place to work and to come explore.
Oh, it's beautiful.
So a
Look at
fun
the
time,
website.
music on the estuary for sure. Also, you can get more information. I'll put the links on that at pnwsalmoncenter.org. Well, Clayton, good to see you.
Thanks, Jeff. Thanks,
And
Vicki.
we will
You're
check back
welcome.
in
Thank
with you
you.
before too long.
That sounds good. And
We'll
maybe
see you out
before
on the river.
the big trap gets put in.
Yeah.
All right.
Very cool.
Thank you very
Sounds
much,
so
everybody.
fun.